Last time on You Had Me at Bigfoot. Who said it probably sounds like Freebird? See, this is why Mike is my favorite.
He's our number one fan. If he's not one of our number one fans, he is the number one fan.
He is.
Because that's straight up old school. He pulled that.
He did.
That's common,
James, did you hear what Mike in Manitoba said?
Yeah, I just read it.
Can you play Freebird on the banjo? I guess the more appropriate question would be, can you play any other song other than Freebird on the banjo?
Yeah, I can.
So the only other song that on banjos? Dubuque police officer Nacho Cheese.
That's pronounced Chase.
Nacho Chase, who was killed while responding to a call that also left an additional officer dead, is survived by his husbands. Husbands?
Yeah, he was a progressive Mormon.
Survived by his husbands and 2 cats, Adolf and Hitler. He is being remembered for his love of satanic literature and cake porn.
Yeah.
Visiting hours for Chase, who was a conscientious objector in the Iraq and Afghanistan conflict, are being held Thursday at the Church of Scientology of Chicago from 4 to 8 p.m. Funeral services are scheduled for 11 a.m. on Friday at the same location. The presiding priest will be Alex Jones. You're listening to You Had Me at Bigfoot, your exclusive source for jokes about John Podesta's penis, with your hosts, Tom. All right, Jamus, well, we thank you for your, whatever. And Dustin.
Wow, you're chugging that shit.
Joined in the studio by musical director, Jim.
I'm trying to fuck this chick, man. We're not live, are we?
Remember to check out our Twitter at You Had Me Podcast. Find us on YouTube, You Had Me at Bigfoot Podcast, or on our website, www.youhadmeatbigfoot.com. All right, so I guess we could probably move on to the actual, because people, I'm sure Mike in Manitoba's like, well, what's the friggin' show going to be about today? Yeah, don't ever go back and listen to episodes 1 and 2, I guess.
1, 2, and
pretty much
3 is a little silly.
When I started joining.
Yeah, the Exorcist show. No, I think Matt Squatch is kind of like the good first episode because A, it's informative, and B, it's it was so informative that Dustin and I kind of shifted into we had to serve the balance and start being goofy. So that's kind of what shifted us into that.
I'll tell you what I feel like did it is when we just got shit-faced hammered one night.
Yeah, that too.
And then we realized that...
Well, it's because we were doing the Exorcist episode.
Yeah.
And we got drunk and we just ended up being silly. And instead of doing retakes, we were like, we'll just do that. That's fine. But tonight we're actually talking about... We're going to keep with the theme. We did You Had Me at Ghosts. You Had Me at Haunted Objects, which was also kind of about ghosts. And which, rest assured, those episodes are coming. I'm editing them very slowly but surely. Tonight we're doing You Had Me at Ghost Games. So the Ouija board, evidently, is not the only game that you can do to talk to ghosts. There are plenty of them. And we're going to teach you a few of them. How to talk to ghosts, how to talk to demons, how to have... a little haunted doll chase after you through your house.
I want that to happen to me.
Yeah, but today we're talking about how to talk to ghosts and how to summon demons and stuff through childhood games.
Ghost Games 2018.
We'll see. Are you going to play and try for the gold cup?
Do you want to?
No.
Why not?
Some of these, I'm telling you, when I was reading up on these games, some of these games, there's no way that I would ever play some of them. Because, even every one of them, when I looked them up and read about them, they would start
What's
up
he got going on with his audio?
Yeah, James, what are you doing over there?
So I opened up the my Ghost app,
so and it's just making like ocean noises.
Yeah.
Yeah, no winners playing those games. And that's what's funny. When I was watching, after I had read up on all that, I was watching that When Ghosts Attack, and there were these two girls that were playing, that were doing like, trying to talk to spirits using the crystal. And she said, she goes, well, when you play games with ghosts, there are no winners. Very dramatically. So I'm glad you said that, because I had totally forgotten about that. And let me just, I'm gonna go on a rant real quick, and I'll try to keep it short, because I know Mike in Manitoba's like, let's cut to the chase. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of this episode.
You used that joke already, and he told you no worries.
I'm gonna keep using it. Mike in Manitoba's like, I'm always using him as an excuse.
Mike in Manitoba missed our toast to him, I think.
Did he?
Yeah, I think he had some issues. He wasn't in here.
Yeah.
So just
well,
so
I'm
you
sure
know,
he felt it.
We made a toast to you.
That was our weekly ritual toast, was to Mike in Manitoba. But let me rant real quick on those shows like Paranormal Survivor, When Ghosts Attack, Haunted, whatever. When they have the actor portraying a real life story, and then they have the actual person come on, and they're like, well, I was living in Ontario, and we had just moved into our new house, and then it shows the guy like moving his family into a new house, but it's like an actor. They never use the actual person. So the thing, which is fine, that's totally fine. But what they do is they have the person, like the actor, he'll come on screen and it'll be like this handsome, chiseled Asian guy. And then it shows and he's just like, going about his business. And then it'll cut to the person who it actually was.
Like me.
And it's, well, it's like some redneck with no teeth and like an afro. And you're like, what? Exactly. Or like, I used this joke the other day when I was talking to somebody. I was like, it's always like this smoking hot chick. And then all of a sudden it cuts to the real person and she looks like Jabba the Hutt's ass and she sounds like a bunch of banana peels stuffed in a garbage disposal. So, like, they need to figure that out. Like, no one's going to be offended. I'm sure there's no shortage of actors who would better portray some of these people without offending anybody. All they do, I'm sure they're not, like, in the casting calls for shows like When Ghost Attacks, where they're like, are you ready to become the next Reese Witherspoon? It's like, hey, do you have a pulse? You know what I mean? Like, no one goes on those shows because they honestly believe that's going to be their foot in the door to Hollywood. So that's directed at you, Destination America, or whatever other channels it's on. What's the channel that your boy's on?
Travel Channel.
Yeah.
They don't do that fake ass shit.
They do Zach Baggins.
I
need to get my Zach Baggins glasses from now on when I'm going to spike my hair like this, and I'll be Fat Baggins while we're talking about ghosts. But, so today we're talking about ghost games. And like I said, let me preface this with this warning. If we had a lawyer, I'm sure our lawyer would tell us that we needed to say this before we started this. Don't play these games unless you want to. You know what I mean? But that's from us, if you want to. They're all open to like interpretation. I mean, there's going to be some people who are like, I don't honestly believe that I think that like most of these games that we're going to talk about are bogus. I think they're fake. But I think there are some of them where there might be an element of truth or possibility of them happening. So if you're going to do it, be careful. And if you're going to be careful while doing it, record it. Or tell us about it. Call us and talk to us. We'd love to, or send us an email or something about how you did it. I won't personally do those games here at this house. However,
right now, give us 15 minutes and it might be going down.
Yeah, we'll see how drunk I get. Maybe we'll play.
You said we would never go in there and open that box.
Yeah, and yet we did for the sake of the fan.
You said we would never run the ghost app again, and here we stand.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll play Drybones later. This is a Drybones subtweet in an episode of You Had Me at Bigfoot.
I don't know
He
if I feel
won't catch
comfortable
this.
playing Drybones with you.
Well, you already have. Remember that one time you passed out down here?
Yeah, well, I got here and you were passed out, so we found out how many fingers tonight.
And it was 3.
It was 3.
I'm gonna make a little You Had Me at Bigfoot logo with the monkey or the Bigfoot doing this with
You
the
have
3
to.
fingers like the gang sign. But so let's talk about one of these games. Let's start it off now that we're 45 minutes deep into the show and we haven't even talked about ghost games. I mean, this won't take much time at all.
My curfew's on like 10 minutes.
I know, so we better wrap it up. Follow us on You Had Me. But what got me interested in this topic was I read about something called the Midnight Game, which it's called the Midnight Game, the Midnight Man. There are a couple other different names for it. But I'm going to do my best to relay the steps to the game and what all you need so that you can play it on your own or whatever. Thought you were going to tell me a secret or something. So what you're going to need for the Midnight Game, and this game is scary. This was the first one I saw, and when somebody had told me about it, I was like, "There's just no way I'm going to play this game. That sounds terrifying. Sounds like a terrible idea." But to each their own. So I'm not going to stop you from doing it because we did an episode on the Ouija board, and I'm sure somebody went out and was like, "Well, I'm going to go do the Ouija board." So at least you're going to do it safely. To play the Midnight Game, you're going to need a large candle, a piece of paper, a pen or pencil, a box of matches or a lighter, a container of salt, a needle or pin, and a house with a wooden front door. All right? The house with the wooden front door is probably going to be the hardest thing to find because I don't think people just have those laying around. But, so the Midnight Game, the instructions are, first you're going to write your name on a piece of paper. It has to be your full name, your first, middle, and last. Thank you for the drum stare. You need to put them all, write all your full name on the piece of paper. And you can do this multiplayer, and I recommend doing it multiplayer. Have a bunch of your friends over, and I think that's what makes it more fun, is if you have a bunch of people. You're all going to poke your fingers and with the needle and drop just a drop of blood on the piece of paper with your name on it, okay? And allow the blood to soak in. Turn off all the lights in your house and stand at the front door. The door, like I said, the door has to be wooden. You're going to place the piece of paper in front of the door, light the candle and place it on top of the piece of paper. At the stroke of midnight, knock on the front door 22 times. And you have to finish knocking before the clock moves to 12:01. So you got about a minute to knock out 22 knocks. Open the front door and blow out the candle. Close the door again and immediately relight the candle, okay? So at that point, you've just invited the Midnight Man into your home, all right? Now the Midnight Game begins. So you have to walk around the house in the dark with the lit candle in your hand, and your goal is to avoid the Midnight Man at all costs until exactly 3:33 a.m. If your candle goes out, it means the Midnight Man is near you. So you have to relight the candle within the next 10 seconds, or the Midnight Man will get you. The candle is your only protection. Now wait till you find out, wait till I tell you in a little bit what the Midnight Man does when he catches you. If you're able to relight the candle within this time, you can continue moving around the house, avoiding the Midnight Man. If you're not able to relight the candle fast enough, you must immediately surround yourself with a circle of salt, and you have to stay within that circle of salt until 3:33 a.m. The salt is your last line of defense. Do not step outside of the circle of salt, or the Midnight Man will get you. Makes it kind of seem like the goal is to like have your candle go out right away so you can just pour the salt around you and hang out for the next 3 hours. Like, that's what I would do. I'm a big chicken. If you make it to 3:33 a.m. without being trapped within a circle of salt, it means you won the Midnight Man game. Whatever happens, the Midnight Man will leave at 3:33 a.m., and if you're still alive, it's safe to go to sleep. If you spend...
Well, if you're not alive...
Yeah, well, I guess it's safe to go to sleep anyways at that point. If you spend the entire game staying in one spot, this will only result in the Midnight Man finding you. It is highly advised to keep moving throughout the game. Oh, so I guess he can find you when you're with the circle of salt around you. So, yeah, you don't want that to happen. Never mind, I stand corrected. I'm like the guy who doesn't read the rest of the instructions. Just and then surrounds himself with salt, and then ends up getting caught by the Midnight Man. So signs that the Midnight Man is nearby. Your candle will blow out, you'll suddenly feel extremely cold, you'll hear a low whisper, and you'll see the shadowy figure of a man in the darkness. That's a pretty good indicator that the Midnight Man is there. There's a guy standing in your house. The Midnight Man game rules. You do not turn on any lights during the Midnight Man game. Don't use a flashlight. Don't fall asleep. Don't use another person's blood on the paper that bears your name. Do not try to use a lighter instead of a candle. And do not attempt to provoke or anger the Midnight Man in any way. It has to be exactly 12 a.m. when you start. And then it says here, some final words of advice. Do not play this game. Like, right up front. Summoning a spirit or inviting a ghost or demon into your home is incredibly dangerous. You could be abducted or become possessed. Running around with matches and candles in the dark is extremely dangerous. I mean, that's like the most rational piece of advice that they have. Do not burn yourself or set your house on fire. Pricking your finger and messing around with blood is dangerous. Don't come in contact with anyone else's blood. You could catch HIV or hepatitis C. And then finally, our advice is do not play this game. So, again, the rules are the biggest takeaway is not to play the game. However, it sounds like a really fun game. If I weren't such a chicken, I might try it. I mean, it's only 3 hours and 33 minutes of running away from the Midnight Man.
I say we do it tonight.
I'm not playing the Midnight Man tonight. I'm not doing it here. Now, because, well, first of all, we don't have wooden doors. We have that fake particle wood or whatever it's called.
That's wood.
And like the
particle
metal.
Wood's wood.
No, it's not. It's like that. It's like, but then we end up with like the retarded Midnight Man. You know what I mean?
You do it in my shed. It's got wooden doors.
Yeah, but how much can we hide from the Midnight Man?
We're just gonna walk in circles.
As soon as we start, the candles go out. The Midnight Man's like, I didn't even have to look for you. We all started in the same room, and now you're dead. But the thing is, I was reading about what happens when the Midnight Man finds you, and it wasn't on this site. It was on a different site. When the Midnight Man finds you and catches you, I don't know what the window is between when he finds you and when he starts doing what it is he does.
What does he do?
You'll start feeling like your organs are being removed.
Ooh, I feel like that sometimes after Hot Wheels.
Whenever I eat Taco Bell. But you'll feel like you'll have the actual sensation. Those nacho fries, how about those? They're so good. You'll have the sensation of having your organs removed, but you'll still live through it, obviously. And HIV positive just joined. But we were just talking about you. But you won't be able to stop it. So that's kind of what happens. I don't know if the risk outweighs the reward, or vice versa, if the reward outweighs the risk, because there really is no reward. Yeah, what is the reward? There is none. And that's there's actually another game on this list where there is a reward. And how likely are you to recommend Microsoft Edge web browser to a friend or colleague?
Well, now's the perfect time to do it if you're going to do it.
I'm not going to. Well, I guess I would recommend Microsoft Edge, I guess. It's a fine internet browser. There was another one I read where there is a reward for it. Like some of these, there's really no incentive to do it. So, and we're going to talk about those. Let's see if I can find the...
Let me just plug my YouTube channel real quick. I played the Midnight Man game on my YouTube channel. There, I'm done.
Did you?
Yeah.
In real life?
Not the in real life game. It was an indie horror game called Midnight Man.
Speaking of, you know what's in theaters on Friday?
What?
Slenderman.
Slenderman. It was actually this one.
Yeah, I don't fuck with this mirror shit.
Yeah.
Bloody Mary.
No.
This is that Black Mirror shit where you look into it for so long until your brain's. Did you know, like in real life though, if you look into a mirror, if you turn the lights off in a really dim room and stare into a mirror, you have to do it for a while. But if you stare into the mirror, you'll start seeing your face deform because your brain gets tired. your brain gets bored and it starts deforming your face. That's a psychological proven fact. So, with that being said, I think that's where a lot of this crap comes from. Where they're like, well, stare in the mirror, stare into that mirror and you'll see a ghost. It's your mind playing tricks on you because your brain gets bored.
Huh. Well, I didn't know that.
No, I saw on Paranormal Activity, it works.
Was there a mirror on that? Or no? Oh, yeah, there's ghosts in the background. That's right.
Hey, I've seen Constantine.
That's how they catch demons, yeah.
Yeah.
But what this one is called the Black Mirror. It's a method of catching a ghost. But before we move on, what do you think of the Midnight Man?
I think he's full of shit.
I will fight the Midnight Man.
Yeah, it's like the Boogie Woogie Man from
the Bye Bye Man?
No, Nightmare Before Christmas.
No.
I'm the Boogie Woogie Man.
What do you think, James? You got a song about the Midnight Man?
I do, actually.
Yeah, Jamus is sober, which is really fucked up.
Yeah, you drank a whole bottle of wine last time.
What's funny is two people say the same thing at the exact same time.
No, it's... What happens is it's like there's some kind of glitch or it's like a... what do they call it? A bot.
It gives credit to two... Oh.
Yeah.
Damn.
You know how, like...
Russians? It's the Russians.
It's those damn Russians.
It's those damn Russians.
They got all those people to vote for Donald Trump. But, and now they're on our Periscope, gosh dang it. But, no, they, it's like when you're in middle school and you say something really funny, but nobody hears you except for, like, one other dude that you kind of hate.
Yeah.
And then he repeats it, but louder, and everyone laughs and he takes credit for it. That's what's going on here.
How dare 3 people notice that I sound sober?
Are we down to 3 followers or 3 viewers?
How bad would my sound if I just held this mic and recorded like this?
It doesn't matter. I mute you anyways. Have you ever listened to it on iTunes? It's just me talking the whole time. It's just me asking questions of myself.
For some reason I believe that.
I actually I re-record the episode of me doing all your best jokes.
Which is 2. I'm about to get myself real comfortable here. Buddy, I'm hurting. I really am, dude.
Why?
My shoulder hurts. My back hurts.
You know what would help?
Vicodin?
Yeah, I suppose.
I was getting real cool. I feel like Geraldo.
Like Oprah leaning in the chair, holding the microphone.
Today on You Had Me at Bigfoot.
I'll be Tom Cruise. I'm in love with Katie Holmes. I'm in love with Katie Holmes.
You're a winner, and you're a winner.
James, are you gonna sing a song or what?
Yeah, I was letting you guys recite jokes that you were talking about earlier.
Did we do that joke?
I don't know. I saw you guys were talking about Tom Cruise and Oprah.
Well, we didn't do that joke earlier.
That was back. No, that was a long time ago. Never mind.
Yeah, that was like months ago. I'm letting you guys redo jokes that you did earlier. 2 months earlier. You can't do the same joke twice in a year, Tom.
Is that a good time frame to recycle an old joke?
Yeah, I recycle jokes weekly.
Because in that case, do you got that big candle? Do you got that other stuff?
All right, go ahead. You're on the air. It's Freebird.
The other night I set out a candle by the big wooden door. I sat there and prayed that the midnight man would be coming by. About 12:35 and I was starting to get bored. And then I realized that I didn't even have any salt in case he came by. talk to you too.
Well, thank you.
Also, sounds not gay.
Well, I don't like this song. It didn't end like the other ones. I like my songs to end the way that they normally do. So
I like my songs the way I like
In a
my women.
happy sense, he totally sucks dick.
there we go. I'm back on board. You have me. I'm a fan again. I'm resubscribing to your channel. So the next one, we were kind of talking about it for a second, and then we got distracted because we needed a song from James. Which reminds me, I'm still pushing for James to release a solo album where he just plays all the songs that he sings on the show. Where he
I already started my own podcast on the side. I didn't tell you guys about it. It's called You Had Me at Music, and it's already blown up. It's bigger than you guys.
Well, that's not a surprise to me.
We have 7 followers.
Somebody just said they'd buy it. So, I'm still trying to get him to re-record all his songs professionally, like without us laughing and talking over him in the background, so that we can release it and monetize it and not pay him.
I'm still trying to get us to go on
yeah,
tour.
let me just con my little brother into doing stuff and
You
then make
had
money
me at
off
Bigfoot
it.
on tour.
I'm down for whatever, man.
Coming to
We could
Manitoba.
do that, but we only have one stop on the tour.
It would be Manitoba.
baby.
And it's just in Mike's living room. He's like, play Freebird, play James, play Freebird. And we don't even get to. And then you're like, well, he's clearly heckling me, and me and Dustin are sitting there waiting for our turn to talk, and we never get a chance to talk. And then Mike's like, all right, thanks guys. We'll see you next time. Oh, here we go. Tune in and they're like, why did I just tune into some guys playing Freebird and like nodding along with the music?
Because we're about to get naked.
That's okay.
I leave here tomorrow. I'm done. I don't like when it gets silent. I like interrupting you guys and then you get quiet. I'm like, ah, shit, I'm the center of attention again.
So this Black Mirror game, all you need is a mirror, a dark room, a comfortable chair, and a dim light bulb or a candle. All right? You're going to find a dark, empty room, place the mirror high up on the wall, and you angle the mirror so that nothing is reflected but darkness. Okay? Then you're going to light the candle or turn on a light that has the same brightness as a single candle. Someone that's about as bright as James is. And you're going to place the chair in the middle of the room, sit down, make yourself comfortable. Then you relax, gaze deeply into the mirror, and think of the dead person you want to see. Don't think about anything else, just clear your mind and concentrate only on the person you are trying to contact, and that person only. The spirit of the dead person should appear to you, just be patient. Now, apparently this whole, it's like, just be patient, but like, how long do you have to wait? It said when Ron Moody was conducting experiments using this method, he led 300 people through these steps, and it had an 80% success rate. So it's like arguably as successful as hypnosis. Maybe some correlation there, because I think 80% of the population can be hypnotized, was the number I read. But yeah, this it's just a scary ritual that was used to contact the spirits of the dead. It is also known as psychomantium or mirror scrying, which I think that goes into like witchcraft when you start talking about witchcraft. It was developed by researcher Ron Moody based on rituals found in ancient Egyptian and Greek scrolls, which, like, if I ever find an ancient Egyptian or Greek scroll, especially Egyptian, like if you ever pull out an ancient Egyptian scroll and start reading it, anything it tells you to do that involves scary ghost stuff, you probably shouldn't do it, because all those things, like, I don't know, they seem, like, I don't know, more real to me. I don't know if it's just because Egypt is like certifiably like real and they had some really weird rituals that And I mean, even back then, whether you look at it biblically or historically or both, a mix of the two, like, there was magic going on back then, and there was some weird, crazy stuff going on. So, I mean, like, if
it says Egyptian, I do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it'd probably work.
Because I like to walk like an Egyptian.
Do it for the people at home. I'm going to make a Dustin emoji. And it'll be you doing that. But then I also found when I was reading up on, I mean, we're not like Snopes here in that.
What's a Snoop?
No, isn't it like a type of rabbit? But no, like Snopes, the website that tries to debunk. Well, it doesn't really try to debunk anything. What it does is it like accepts payments from certain organizations and individuals in order to produce a report that says something is either fake or true. It's not really based on any kind of reality or any kind of like sound research or anything. It used to be, but now it's very politically motivated and driven by financial.
So it's like that dossier, the dossiers.
Well, no, what they do is what's the word? Fact checking. Is like is what it is what it's supposed to be and what it used to be.
So they're CNN.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because they
like
fact
all
check,
those fact
without
things.
CNN, we would never know how corrupt Donald Trump is.
Yeah, not. What is this? What is this? The Black Mirror?
God bless you, Don Lemon.
But we're not, like I said, we're not like Snopes here in that we don't accept money for to produce any kind of like journalistic or to sacrifice our journalistic integrity. But we would probably. I mean, if people offered us money to report on something, we probably would. Let's be honest.
I would do anything for money.
And that's how we know how many fingers, right? But what I do sometimes is when I find something interesting, like that thing that we just read, the Black Mirror, I wanted to learn more about it, and I actually went digging, and I found another game that you can play, and this is one that, when we were talking about rewards earlier, and there was no real reward with the Midnight Man, there's one that it does have a reward attached to it. Now, what you do is, and it recommends that you have a bunch of friends do it with you. You have a mirror, and what we were talking about earlier, you know, the mirrors and how they're kind of like weird and funky anyways. Apparently, when you look into a mirror, you're releasing all your negative energy into the mirror, right?
Well, it's like Michael Jackson said, I'm starting with the man in the mirror.
I don't know what that means. I don't listen to Michael Jackson. Never have.
We're not friends anymore.
Like, I'm aware of him. Don't get me wrong.
You're aware of Michael Jackson?
I'm aware of Michael Jackson. I know he existed at one point.
He's aware of Michael Jackson?
I said I'm aware of Michael Jackson. I don't really care for Michael Jackson. I'll come out and say it.
I quit this show.
You've come
was he
too
that Prince
far.
guy?
He's the guy with the weird symbol, kind of looks like an upside down guitar or like a male symbol or something. Female symbol.
Michael Jackson, man. Michael Jackson.
That's fine. I appreciate people who like Michael Jackson. That's fine. I just personally don't care much for him. I didn't care much for him when he was alive. I certainly don't care about him now. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
No. Go to hell, Mike in Manitoba. I'm not
Thank
saying...
you, Mike. Thank you.
I'm not a fan of his diddling of little boys, but...
I'm not a fan of his music either. I'm not a fan of his diddling or his music.
Just beat it!
Who is these people? Not a fan of Michael Jackson.
I'm glad that the bot came back and repeated what Mike in Manitoba said. Like, now it looks like more people are on our side. But anyways, you release your negative energy into a mirror every time you look into it. So this mirror version of you is like super negative and it's got all this negative energy attached to it. What? We're moving on. We're like I said, I can appreciate somebody who likes the music. That's fine. Everyone is into. I like Limp Bizkit. No one else does. You know what I mean?
I like Limp Bizkit.
All right. Well, then I'm not going to change my mind. I still don't like Michael Jackson just because you said you like Limp Bizkit.
Whatever.
But Just because you didn't leave me hanging.
The guy has a song about the chocolate starfish. Why would I not like Limp Bizkit?
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Let me think of somebody else. I mean, I only like people who make decent music. So now I'm just trying to offend you. But
You know who makes decent music?
John Denver.
Yeah, let's go with him.
I mean, I don't think anybody's going to argue with that. That's a fact. Now I'm saying Michael Jackson. I'm sure his music is it's critically accepted as he's critically accepted as a great musician. His music is in Hall of Fames and received all sorts of accolades and everything. So that's fine. You know, his music was good, I suppose, to people who like his music. I am not one of those people, though, and that's all I'm going to say about Michael Jackson. Can we move on now?
Because he was white, isn't it?
It was, as a matter of fact.
Let's
know me, I hate white people.
Well, who doesn't?
You guys want to hear? You guys want to hear a weird theory that I heard the other day about Michael Jackson?
Yeah, of course. That's what we do here.
So
We've turned this into a Michael Jackson show.
So, are you guys familiar with the theory that celebrities are actually clones?
Some of them, yeah. Well, yeah, okay, yeah. I mean...
Well, my boss at Trade Home was telling me about, well, now everyone knows exactly where to find me because you mentioned I live in Dubuque the other day, and now I just said Trade Home.
You mentioned that you live in Dubuque because there was an old episode where you said that bit about Dubuque. I didn't say it. I just responded saying the bad side of Dubuque, otherwise known as Dubuque.
I thought you worked at Chippendales.
No, I work at I'm a roadie for which one was it this week? Which band? Hootie and the Blowfish? I don't remember. No, so my boss is telling me that the reason why Michael Jackson, well, he doesn't necessarily believe it, but the theory is the reason Michael Jackson changed his appearance so much is because clones would deteriorate, and his would deteriorate faster than
Michael Jackson was
most
a
for some
reptilian.
reason. So they had to keep changing it so you wouldn't notice the deterioration in his in the clone.
Why didn't they just fix it?
Nah, expenses.
Like, his clone is deteriorating. Turn him into a white woman. Like, from a black man.
That is the weirdest thing, too, because he, straight up was... I mean, he... Whatever. Had the features of a black man and just went straight to looking like the whitest, nerdiest white dude ever.
Yeah.
His penis even got smaller.
Did it?
That's what they say.
Nah, it was about the same.
James knows. He was one of the kids that fathered one of his children, like Blanket. There we go.
Have you ever heard
I was
that
trying to
kid
learn
sing?
it from Mike in Manitoba, and I can't get it. I just
Blanket,
can't do
is
it.
he the one that can sing real well?
I don't know. Isn't that Macaulay Culkin's kid? Like, it's Macaulay Culkin's kid that I don't know how they did it, but it's like Macaulay Culkin's DNA somehow.
Like him and Michael put their spermies together?
Yeah, they were docking and they hooked up with the same chick or something. I don't know. I don't know if they. I'm sure they didn't, because I don't think either one of them.
Or
has
is
ever
it
been inside
Paris?
of a
What
woman.
he has? Who's it? Paris?
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know any of the kids except for Blanket. That's the only one I know because it's Macaulay Culkin's
I
kid.
wish my name was Blanket.
That's such a dumb name. It's like Michael Jackson was for some reason he was the mother laying in the hospital bed, and then the doctor came in and said, "What would you like to name your child?" And he thought he said, "Do you need anything?" And he goes, "Blanket." And then so they named the kid Blanket. Whatever.
And then they got the birth certificate. Well, whatever. My son's birth certificate came to our house, and they had did a typo and had his middle name as Evil.
What?
Yeah.
Did you just leave it? Whatever.
We fixed it.
But anyways, let's talk about this mirror. All your negative energy goes into the mirror, and that's why they say when you break a mirror, it's, 7 years bad luck or whatever. It's not that the bad luck follows you. It's that the bad luck is in that particular area for 7 years. So if you break a mirror in your home, that's 7 years of bad luck in your home, or whatever amount of time is equal to however much evil was put into that mirror, if that makes sense. And so, like, if it's a brand new mirror and you bring it home and you break it, it's like 20 minutes bad luck. But, and it's just because you accidentally looked into it when you were bringing it inside. But if it's like a super old mirror, like, those things are full of, you know, negativity and evil and all whatever horrible stuff. So you might end up, instead of it being like 7 years bad luck, it ends up being like 40 years bad luck or whatever. So this game that you play, you have to like have all your friends gathered around, and then you put this mirror up and everyone looks into it, and then you have to burn it with a lighter or a candle for so many minutes, and that stirs up the activity within the mirror, and then you all breathe on it and have your condensation of your breath breathing onto this mirror, and then once everyone's done it, you break the mirror, and then that releases all that bad luck. But the thing is, it doesn't stay there. You, like, if you do it at any time in the day, it doesn't matter, but the bad luck breaks with daylight, or with the light of dawn, rather. And they were very specific about that. It was dawn. When dawn comes around and the sun comes up, the bad luck disappears. But you go on about your day after you break the mirror, and bad luck will follow you. And it'll start with something small, you know, like you stub your toe, or you drop, you know, your phone and it cracks or whatever. But then it gets worse and worse and worse as the day goes on. And you... eventually, when dawn comes around, it all goes away, and then you end up having like an equal amount of like good luck for how much bad luck was in the mirror, if that makes sense. Like, it's all kind of like crazy. Not like anything we talk about on the show isn't crazy, but there was like a lot of stuff that made it seem like it was a real thing. Like, this dude put a lot of work into explaining this. But is that your ghost detector? James?
What?
Is that your ghost detector?
No, I think that's just my microphone.
Oh.
Is it gone now?
Yeah, it's gone now. But
it's probably
yeah,
the fan on the other side of the room.
But yeah, that's the reward that comes with it, is once you're done with the game, if you survive, was like the big thing. Like, if you survive, you have all this crazy good luck. If you survive. But that's what he said. He was like, if it has to be like 6 hours before dawn, no less than that. So if you break it at like 3 a.m, it doesn't count. I don't know what happens at that point, but like, he said it doesn't count. Maybe you just don't get the good luck. But if you do it too early, you know, like at like 3 p.m, thinking you're going to cheat it by having daylight out already, then it doesn't, you know, you're going to have it for 15, 16 hours or whatever. So that was one that you can actually get a reward out of. If you want to talk about the other one that comes with a reward, this one's actually pretty funny. And like I said, it was Drybones connected to the... So there's this game, it's called Drybones. What do you think about the mirrors? Would you ever fuck around with a mirror?
No, I don't do mirrors. No.
Yeah, they're pretty scary. Like, do you ever go into your bathroom and the lights are off and you don't look in the mirror? Like, you avoid looking in it?
I noticed that you took the mirror out of your bathroom.
I didn't take it out. Now, so what happened was, when we were buying the place, there was a mirror up. And when we moved in, the mirror was gone. So I assume it was just like a mirror that they had hanging, because there were like these nails all up in the wall, but there was no mirror. So I just took the nails out, and then I went to actually put in a medicine cabinet there with the mirror and everything. And when I cut the drywall, I cut that triangle, and I realized that the pipe, like, instead of having like a little pipe, it has this like massive fucking pipe for some reason, and then it also has a stud right behind it, so there was nothing I could do with it, so I had to patch the drywall, and I still have to sand it down and everything. But no, it's not that I took the mirror out, I'm trying to put a mirror in there. But yeah, if like, whenever I walk into a bathroom at night, I like avoid contact or eye contact with the mirror, because I know that's when I'm gonna see something fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, do you ever do that?
Well, it's just your face, but
Well, I do that during the daytime because I know because I don't want to see my own face. No.
You guys want to know the last 10 minutes of what my ghost thing's been saying?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
All right, 10 minutes ago exactly. It's kind of creepy. It said, "Let me out." Guns, ready. Kim, unlock. Noises, score, brimstone, drunk.
Yeah, well, we got guns right here. We got brimstone right there. Someone's drunk.
Let me out. Remember last time they were trying to get us to open up the crate to let them out?
Yeah.
And they said
This
15.
is, I mean, it's kind of creeped me out because let me out and unlock are like my dog, I've got my dog locked in the other room.
Look on the floor over there.
Also, my
locked in
dog's
there?
name is Kim and he's got a gun.
I don't know. So there's a thing. Remember how, like, down in the basement when you stayed here, James, I used to have that weight that blocks the door
Yeah.
so that it doesn't open?
I just got chills.
Dustin's all stressed out because the ghost, he's like, how come you didn't turn your Ovilus on this time, Dustin? I'll just go over by James. He's got his on. I'll go talk through that one. Dustin's all stressed out now because he's got to sit by the... One time I saw a ghost and it gave me a pound of ground beef. What does that mean? You don't want to know. You're in trouble.
You're going to be dead in 50 years.
Yep. 50. Poor bastard. So what else you got, James? You got a song about the mirror?
Yeah.
Either one of the games?
Yeah. I wasn't paying attention to any of them.
Well, then you probably don't have a good song.
I've always got a song for you, Tom.
Well, let's hear it. Well, let the fan... Oh, we have 11 again. We're hitting that new high score. We're consistently bouncing up. We're in the double digits.
I mean...
That's big for us.
I mean, we had 14 earlier.
Did we?
We're going to be millionaires.
I believe
Well,
it.
me.
When we release your album and we don't sign the rights over to you, to your own songs.
I'm gonna sue you guys for everything you're worth.
Yeah, and you can have all $5 that we made.
Now this one goes out to Mike in Manitoba. If you ever just wanted to look in a mirror and wonder what you'd see, I'll tell you what you see and you don't want to know what it is. I don't know either, cause it's probably a ghost. And I don't want to know what that ghost's name is. So I'm just gonna avoid the mirror. Never have any friends over, that won't be too hard, cause I never have friends over. It's hard to do that when you don't have any in the first place. And all my luck is bad.
I like how, like, if we do release an album of yours, it'll, for like an hour-long album, or no, we'll even say like a 45-minute album, which is standard, right? It'll just be 45 different songs, like short songs, maybe even 50. So, all right,
They'll all be making fun of us.
and they all end with, and Tom is gay.
The album's called Tom is Gay.
That's what the album is called. All right, so this is this game is called Drybones, and a few people will recognize the reference to it being a subtweet that will never be caught and retweeted. But the Drybones as a ritual is a very dangerous game, and we strongly advise you do not play it. But if you do, tell us about it, please. By dabbling with the occult and contacting demons, you are messing with things that you don't understand. You could wind up losing your mind, being killed, or worse, losing your soul. And maybe we'll have to ask Dave Outlandish about Drybones one of these days. But the Drybones ritual must be played alone. All you need is a bathroom, a mirror, a candle, and a box of matches. To prepare, you close all the doors and windows in your house. Close all the cupboards, closets, wardrobes, and cabinets. Turn off all the lights in the house, including televisions and computer screens. Begin the game at 12:01 a.m., not a minute sooner or later. Go into your bathroom and look into the mirror. Make sure that everything is completely silent. If you hear any strange noises, it means he is already here. Abort the game and leave the house immediately. Think of something that you want. This will be your prize if you win. Strike a match and light the candle. Do not blow out the match yourself. Wait for it to burn out on its own. If the match lasts 15 seconds or more, then you may continue. Lie down on the floor and recite the following words. Which I don't know if I want to be reciting stuff, but whatever. Whatever. I am aware of your presence, and I welcome you into my HOME. Come now. How'd you know to stop listening or stop plugging your ears?
Because you looked at me.
Go to the largest room in your house and wait. How long this takes can vary widely. For some it may take hours, and for others it could take minutes. You have to be patient. When he is ready. I like how they were like, don't say it, don't do it. I spelled it. You have to actually say the word. But, yeah, I spelled it because I didn't want it to happen.
Well, Tom's cursed anyway, so
I
it
already
doesn't
am,
matter.
so I'm already oppressed. When he is ready, you will hear a faint moaning sound.
So now there's a label. How do we know it's a he?
Tom, aren't you?
Did you just assume
hearing,
Drybones is gender?
You just assumed it's gender.
Aren't you used to hearing moaning sounds when he's ready?
See, now you're gonna have a song about Drybones. I'm sure you've got something cooking. The if you hear anything else, abort the game and leave the house immediately.
Oh, so now it's abortions.
Yeah, this is a very political game. So I don't know why they call it right-wing Drybones. When you hear the moaning begin, you must run and hide, which is what I normally do when I hear a mysterious voice moaning. Stay in your hiding place and pray that he doesn't find you. To win the game, you must remain hidden until 3 a.m. During that time that you are hidden, he will be searching for you. Remain absolutely quiet and do not make any noise. Try not to make any quick movements, or it will be easier for him to find you. When the clock strikes 3 a.m., the game is over, and it is safe to come out. Return to the largest room in your house and say, "Thank you for playing, but you must leave now. You are no longer welcome." You will hear a groan, and he will leave. If you manage to hide successfully, you have won the game, and your prize will be waiting outside your front door the next morning. However, the question is this: is any prize really worth the risk of what could happen to you if you lose? Anytime I looked at the camera and said he, it was because it highlights and capitalizes he in here every time it says it. That sounds like a fun game, but it is... I wonder what happens when Drybones catches you. A moaning, groaning ghost or a moaning, groaning
pretty
demon.
Cool, I found, I think.
Yeah, I was going to use it actually for when James was telling his poltergeist story the other day.
Oh, did you find the same music?
Yeah, because I just typed in scary...
That's what I just did.
Yeah, scary music or whatever. If you hear the moaning dry boner.
So this is turning me on, not making me scared.
Oh boy.
So does he sound like a zombie then?
I don't know. I don't know what the Drybones sounds like. What do you think?
Check it out. I wrote a song for Drybones.
Good. I figured you would.
You ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Gotcha.
Isn't that the song from it was like a 90s song where it goes the Crash Test Dummies? Isn't that what that song is? So there's actually while we're I guess as we transition to the next game, what are we listening to here?
next game
Oh, you want me to read with
is
that song
quite
playing?
scary.
Sometimes I don't know what you're doing. So
The next game is called
hold on.
Do Not Listen to You Had Me at Podcast.
I love how we can't even get our own name right.
I was referring to the Twitter handle, but do not listen to You Had Me at Bigfoot on Twitter at You Had Me at Podcast.
You can't even get the Twitter right. It's You Had Me Podcast.
Oh, You Had Me Podcast.
We're horrible at saying our own name and our own Twitter handle. All right, moving on. What I was going to talk about, I think what we started with was about the Ouija board, right? And we kind of talked about how the Ouija board was not the only way that you had to talk to spirits. At Talks to Spirits.
Speaking of, let's give a go follow at Talks to Spirits.
She's really a sweet girl. Now,
Great psychic.
yeah. So go follow her, and she does a lot of really cool work with the paranormal in the field of solving crimes and finding missing children and missing peoples. So when you use a Ouija board, all right, I don't recommend using a Ouija board. I don't know how Dustin feels.
I recommend.
Yeah, okay.
9 out of 10 dentists recommend using a Ouija board.
Of course they do. There's like one dentist out of 10 who's like, no. Why are you asking me this?
No.
Anyways, I'm a dentist. I'm not. What do you? I'm not like a.
But
priest
9 out of 10 say yes, you should use the Ouija board.
Now there are other ways to do it. There's this game called Kukuri-san, which is like the Japanese version of the Ouija board.
So it's bullshit.
That's a hurtful thing to say about Japan, one of our closest allies. They took 2 nukes, and they're still our friends. Like, what does that tell you about who Japan
is? They bitched up.
Now they're our allies. And
Big time bitched
they
up.
make awesome stuff in video games, right? So let's be kind to the Japanese.
They make good sex dolls.
They do that too.
I wouldn't know.
I would know, unfortunately. We talked about this last week with that haunted sex doll. But the Kokiri-san, the thing about that is it's not like the Ouija board in that the Ouija board is like inherently evil, and there's a lot of really nasty stuff that can come from it. The Kokiri-san it looks the same kind of. It's just a piece of paper with numbers and letters, and then you've got the yes or the no, and then the little gate, the Shinto gate at the top in red. Now you take like a little coin, I guess it's a yen coin, but you move it around with your friends just like you would a planchet on a Ouija board. But the thing is, instead of dealing with like a miscellaneous spirit, you're dealing with a very specific spirit, and it's called the Kokiri. The Kokiri-san, which is a mix of like
hey, no joke. Japanese stuff scares me about as much as the Egyptian stuff does.
like how you had to jump in there and be like, all right, look, I know I like to joke around.
Like, I know I was talking some mass shit, but seriously.
Yeah. Well, they've got it all figured out. They've been around for a while, and they've got it. They didn't stifle their creativity with the occult like we do. And
well, because we're Americans, all we care about is porn and fast food.
That being said, we'd like to thank our sponsors, the Pornhub, specifically the Naked Bigfoot section, the Bigfoot sex section.
Is there
I love that section.
Is there a section on that?
No, I don't know.
I'm sure
there's not. I'll come right out and say there's not, because it's not that I've looked, but I spend enough time on there that I know that it is not a thing.
No, there's a different site you want to go to for Bigfoot porn.
What is that?
Hang on. I'm trying to remember. Rule34.com, I think.
What the fuck?
Are you talking about the one? Are you talking about the rule where, like, if it exists, there's porn for it?
Yeah.
Is that Rule 34? I don't ever remember if it's 34. It must be. Anyways, it's a rule. Like, on the internet, if it exists, there's porn for it. So, like, if anyone ever asks, like, oh, I wonder if there's a video of, like, a raccoon and a woman having sex with tentacles and a midget and farting on cake, it exists. Because if it exists, there's porn about it. So, But that's what the Kokiri-san, it's like a mix between a raccoon, a dog, and a fox, or whatever. So, and it's
And
like
a
this
tree.
mischievous, and a tree. It's part tree, part Wendigo, part the car, or whatever. But it's mischievous, but it's knowledgeable, and it cares. Like, those are the three things about it. And you can ask it all sorts of questions, and whether or not it's going to tell you the truth, it depends on which characteristic of the spirit is answering. So, and it's a game that they used to play in school, but then it became a like there was such a public outcry about it because kids were doing it, and it was I don't know, parents got all butthurt.
Oh yeah,
about
the
it.
Japanese are really weird about their dead demons.
Yeah, except for the ones in Okinawa Forest.
Yeah.
They just leave them out there.
Well, no one's gonna go out there and police up a bunch of dead guys, except for Logan Paul or whatever his name is.
Dude,
Paul
he
Logan.
he got hammered over that shit. And there's people that have taken videos of these people.
Well, I think it was because like he was out there giggling and
was
wearing
making
a
fun of
tanuki
it.
hat or
Yeah.
something. Yeah. So I mean, like what he was doing was probably a little bit less respectful than like somebody going out and being like, "Hey, look at all these. There are an awful lot of dead bodies out here," which is like a fact. Whereas Logan Paul went out there and was picking his nose and giggling or whatever. So I personally don't care much.
And
for
then
the
like the body that he ran across was like pretty new. From
Was
my
it?
understanding. Like probably just like fresh as all get out. Have you ever seen pictures of the bodies in that forest?
Yeah.
I
Well, I mean, like, I'm aware of that forest. I mean, like, people go there all the time and do it, but
I've done it there like 3 times.
suicided there?
Yeah.
James, didn't you go to that forest at one point?
No, I drove past it.
You had a
I didn't
change of
drive
heart.
past it. I rode past it in a bus.
You had a change of heart as you were passing. You know what? I'm not gonna do
How
it.
creepy is it from the outside?
I mean, it's eerie. The whole entire base of Mount Fuji is pretty eerie.
Why?
I don't know.
Imagine just like the.
Is that where
Probably
it's
just
at?
because I knew about it.
Is that where
Probably
it's
just
at?
because
It's on the base of Mount Fuji?
Yeah, it's right at the bottom of Fuji. Probably just because I knew about it. Like, if you didn't have any idea about the Okinawa Forest, you probably wouldn't get an eerie feeling. Oh, you might. I don't know. I'm sure if you get out, you stand kind of at the, the tree line, you get like a...
Well, yeah,
I'm sure
you just
something
have
comes over
to,
you.
from my understanding, you can just walk into that bitch for like, just walk 100 yards into it and you're more likely going to run into a body.
I believe it. Can you imagine? Like, be honest.
Or
If
become
you
a
were going to
body.
commit suicide and you were like dead set on going to that forest to do it or whatever, I don't remember what like the reasoning was like that particular forest or whatever. If it was just like people go there because they're like, oh, it's a suicide forest, that's where people go to die, or if it's like there's any kind of like special meaning to it. But like if you're committed to going and hanging yourself. Sounds like Chicago. Well, the difference is instead of going in and hanging yourself, you go in there and you get shot. You have like a 1 in 4 chance, and this is not a lie. Like this is an accurate statistic. Like there's like one block in Chicago where you are. Like you have a 1 in 4 chance of being the victim of a violent crime, just in that block. Like so, if you go there, you're basically like 25% chance that you're going to get murdered. Or raped, or whatever.
Which, if it's rape, sign
Where is it? Where is it?
Chicago.
Where?
James is like, yeah.
Can you give me a more specific?
It's I don't remember. I remember like looking at it on the map, and it was like somewhere where like there was nothing else special there. And then they're building the Obama Institute Museum there, I think, right?
I'm so excited for that place.
But I wonder, like, if you were going to commit suicide in that forest, why bother walking too deep into it? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, there is a reason why they go deep into it. It's because suicide really is like a shameful thing in that country.
but,
I think they go deep into it so they can't be found.
oh, that makes sense then. All right, well, we just answered our own question. So, the other thing I was going to talk about as far as
Not like our American, we're pussies. We want to be found.
Yeah, we just like do it in the garage because
Like,
we know somebody's going to open
People
up the
kill
garage door.
themselves
and
in
be like,
America to try to make their spouses feel bad.
yeah. Which is like kind of pointless to me because it's like you don't even get to have that gratification.
That's what I'm saying,
you know what I mean? Of being like, unless you end up becoming a ghost. If that's an option, maybe that's why. So the other thing that's kind of like the Ouija board is the card game, okay? And you take a deck, like if you're playing with a bunch of friends, you take a card deck and I guess I should open it up because it does have specific instructions. But you shuffle up the cards and everyone who's playing has to take a turn to shuffle the cards. And you spread some salt all over the cards, light a candle, and then you have to lay them out in... Let me see. Each group of cards should be 2 columns and 3 rows. And then you're going to ask, are the spirits willing to speak with us? Just kind of like open up the floodgates, I guess. Person who asks a question hovers their hand over each of the cards until you feel heat coming off of one of the cards. Which apparently, like, if you're moving your hands around, you will feel heat from one of the cards, and that's the one you want to flip over. So, and when you do, they communicate through the cards. A hearts means yes, spades means no, diamonds means maybe, and clubs means I don't know. So it's kind of like the Ouija board, and I think this would be more... I don't want to say it would be more accurate than a Ouija board, because a Ouija board is open to people manipulating it themselves subconsciously, whereas like if you're playing with cards that you don't know what card is what because they're all face down, you're not going to have your own answer or answer your own question with like your subconscious. So if you feel heat coming off of a card, that you don't know what it is, I think that's more likely. I think that's more likely the work of a demon or a spirit or whatever than it is your subconscious. So, anyways, that's just my personal opinion. What's your take on it?
I want to try it.
Go ahead.
You guys want to hear my take on it?
Yeah.
All right, here it is.
That's the song I was talking about.
Got into an accident, couldn't come to school. Well, when he finally came back, his hair had turned from black into bright white. He said that it was from when the cars had smashed so hard.
It's Drybones, that bastard.
There you go.
See, you did know what I was talking about.
Yeah, I had to look up the chords for it, though.
All right, and then here's one that everybody, I think, heard about because there was like a big hysteria about it a couple years ago, maybe. It's called Charlie Charlie.
Oh, like, ouch, Charlie bit me.
No, this is a different Charlie. This is like an evil Charlie. You take a piece of paper and you draw like a cross on it, and you write yes and yes in the 2 adjacent corners. Adjacent? Whatever. Anyways, the one diagonal from the other one, and no and no. And then you take the pencils and you lay one on the up and down axis, and you lay the other one on the left to right axis on top of the other pencil. So it has to be like those number 2, shaped ones, like I want to say a hexagon or an octagon. Anyways, they have to be those, so they have to have the flat ridges. And you set them on top of one another. And then what you do is you say, Charlie, Charlie, would you like to play or whatever? And it'll take that pencil that's on top and it'll turn it to either yes or no. And like it does that. Like apparently there were even like news stories where like people skeptics were saying no, it works because these kids were doing it, and I guess like the teachers saw it or the parents found out about it, and they were like, well, what is all this Charlie Charlie stuff? And then they started looking into it, and then the journalists got a hold of it, and they were like, well, yeah, it works. We did it. And like these pencils will like teeter on the thing going to yes or no and answer your questions. So whoever this Charlie is, it's like a demon or whatever, or a spirit or whatever. And I'm hoping it's still recording. But I mean, that seems like a pretty harmless one. I mean, kids were doing it or whatever. I mean, I guess they play with the Ouija board too, but it seems like you don't hear a whole lot of negative stuff coming from this Charlie game. What's up?
Dude, I just saw like a fog over my right shoulder. I swear to God. Seriously. I was looking in the screen and I saw this fog.
Don't lie. You've got 6 other people that have to verify it.
Did
You're
anyone
like
else
a
see
woman
it?
in the Middle East right now. You have to have 6 other people.
I swear, man.
Can anyone rewind or whatever and tell us what happened? Mike in Manitoba, our faithful fans.
The ghost farted and it just kind of lazily drifted over your shoulder.
I did, man. It was like a fog.
They're calling you liar.
Whoa.
What?
My ghost box just said bring her. That's weird. It also said mad cat, alley, temperature, bring her. I think it wants me to unlock my door and go out to the alley and bring her. I don't know who she is.
All right, so here's the last game, and anyone who successfully does this will send you a "You Had Me at Bigfoot" shirt. How about that? If you successfully do this game, we'll send you a free "You Had Me at Bigfoot" shirt. The ones that we normally wear with the logo on the front. So this is called the closet game. James, you wouldn't know anything about this. You're out of the closet. It's a scary paranormal game. Thank you. It's a scary paranormal ghost game that can be played by 1 or 2 people. The object of the game is to summon a demon. All right? Everyone's like, no, I don't need a shirt that bad. No, thank you.
If I play the game, can I get a t-shirt?
You already have one. So, the closet game is very dangerous. This is a warning, a disclaimer before it. Summoning a demon could result in you becoming possessed or being dragged into eternal darkness. All right? Yeah, she's already like, nope. No, thank you.
Look, you get a free t-shirt.
You get a free t-shirt.
We'll even sign it.
Wait, can you do it in a group?
I think you can do it with 2 people. But hold on, let's finish.
Right.
Are you committing to it before I even finish?
Who's coming with me?
I'm not. But I've read the rest of it. Like, I know what all happens or whatever. So if you're willing to commit to it now, we'll send you the free t-shirt. You're already getting one anyways, but to play the closet game, you need a book of matches with the closet. You can do this alone or with a friend.
How are you going to fit a closet in a book of matches? They don't make...
How are you going to fit a closet into a closet? Come on.
Was this like a closet for ants?
You can do this alone or with a friend. Wait until it is night. This will not work during daylight, okay? Take the book of matches and go into your bedroom. Turn off all the lights in the room. The room must be in complete darkness. If there is a light in the closet, make sure it is off. Open the closet door, step inside, and close the door behind you. Stand in the darkness for approximately 2 minutes facing the closet door.
Cow.
Take 1 match, hold it in front of you, and say, "Show me the light," or "Leave me in darkness." Listen very carefully. If you begin hearing faint whispering, light the match immediately. If you don't hear anything, and the match does not ignite on its own, then don't turn around. If you do not light the match fast enough after the faint whispers, you will feel something grab you and drag you into eternal darkness. Keep the match lit.
It's like marriage.
Exactly. Do not blow it out.
Zoe behind me in the closet.
Pulling you into eternal darkness. If it accidentally... Okay, keep the match lit. Do not blow it out. If it accidentally goes out, immediately light another match. Holding the match in front of you, open the closet door slowly and step outside. Do not turn around. Close the closet door behind you and do not look into the closet. So from now on, so here's the thing. You're like, well, what's the incentive to do this? Now you've got a demon in your closet, right? From now on, you must make sure you always have the light on when you look inside the closet. If you leave your closet open during the night with the lights off, you will see a demon watching you with 2 red eyes that glow like matches. Now you're probably wondering, what's the incentive, right? Now that you have a demon, there is none. That's the end of the game.
So
like,
you're
good job.
Welcome to my closet, demon.
Now you have a demon. You have a pet demon in your closet.
You know why I'm never gonna do this?
Aside from the fact that you end up with a demon in your closet that you have to deal with.
No, I mean, that's okay. I'm okay with that. If it's just in a closet in my place. The problem I'd have is the only closet in my place is where my landlord had the door put in to give me access to the other room. So my apartment is split. The 2 halves of my apartment are split between a walk-through closet. So and the light switch is inside the closet. So every single day when I get home, I'd have to open the door, crack, and reach my hand through and try and hit the switch.
And then you end up hanging the free shirt up in your closet, and you have to contend with the demon to get your shirt out anyways. But
maybe you could just learn to live with them. Like, you could just open the closet door and hold a coat in there and be like, and he'd grab it and you'd be like, hey, thanks.
No, you know what you do? You do it at a friend's house who doesn't know that you're doing it. You know what I mean? Like, or if you're getting ready to move, like on moving day, you just go ahead and hop in the closet, hang out for 2 minutes, show me the light or leave me in darkness, and all of a sudden you summon a demon, roll out, and you go, all right, the keys are yours, and you toss them to the next guy, and then they end up going in, oh, what's this in the closet? Ah! And they get summoned into hell for eternity. That's a classic prank.
Dude, we need to do this in my house.
You want to do
just summon a fuck ton of demons before I leave.
In every closet in your house ends up having a demon in it. People walk in and like, who's talking in here? It sounds like a party.
Called like a week. Like, what the fuck what did you sell us?
The house ends up twirling in on itself and being sucked into the ground just because there's just so many demons trying to pull people through to the gates of hell. Classic prank. All right, that's it for ghost games. I think we're done. Do you have anything to say about? Do you think any of those? Okay, let's do this. We haven't done this in a while. Of those games, which one do you think is the most likely to yield real results?
I don't know. Why don't you guys do one, pussies?
Because I'm a pussy. That's why.
Probably the Charlie one or the mirror one.
You think so?
Yeah.
What about you, James? Which one do you think is the most real, or the one that you would give 5 Bigfoots, basically?
Honestly, probably the last one. Only because I'll never do it to find out. It's the one that I'll never figure out if it's real or not.
I may do it tonight. Just see what happens.
When do you move?
Sunday, Monday. We have to be out there Monday.
I would do it if not for the fact that my closet's a walk-through closet to get to the other half of my apartment.
Just next time somebody moves out.
Mike in Manitoba wants to know how to get a shirt.
How do you get a shirt? We haven't started like mass producing them yet, so who's smoking? James is vaping. That's why you see smoke. You're like, I thought James was on the phone or something. How do we get a shirt? We'll work on that, Mike. Right now we just have like the 4 shirts that we had made. One for me, one for Dustin, one for James, and we had one for Ryan, but for V, but he V is no longer on the show. I'm trying to word it politely because he's a good guy and I don't ever want to say anything bad about him regardless of how things turned out. He's no longer on the show, obviously. You haven't heard from him in some time. And so, I mean, we still have the one shirt, and now it's just hanging up in here. What we want to do is we want to mass produce them in such a way that people can buy them, and it's not like... that it's not like a burden on you guys. And I mean, we don't want to make any money off of them, but like where we're at now is it's just difficult the logistics of it is difficult. So without wanting to burden you guys who want to buy a shirt, and without wanting to like, end up burdening us with shipping and then overcharging and all that. So like, what we're trying to figure out all the logistics of it, Mike. So we will get there, and you will be the first to know. I promise. But yeah, James, you said the last one, and you said the mirror one or the Charlie. I mean, those are all pretty good choices. I think any of the mirror, like I read all of the ghost games, and the ones that I didn't read or share they're not that interesting. Like those are the ones that I think are the most likely to be true.
So on a scale of 1 to 5 Bigfoots, what would you give this?
Honestly, I think all those games there's an element to truth. So I would say in general a 4, but I would say some of the games I would give 5.
Well, this is a different kind of show. We covered a lot of different topics.
So to give it a Bigfoot score, it would be like
a 2.5.
2.5. You would give it like in general. What would you?
Like
give it?
In general, probably a 3.5. For this reason, I'm never going to do it to see if it works.
Yeah. Because
I'm afraid that it might work.
You know who we need? Somebody's giving 4.5. We need to have Dave Outlandish. I'll talk to Dave Outlandish. I'll tell you what. I'll say this about Dave Outlandish. The same way I feel about Matt Squatch. I love to talk to Matt Squatch. I love to pick his brain throughout the week and just talk to him about random stuff. But you know who I think is really cool is Dave Outlandish. You know how you like when you're in middle school and there's like that one cool kid who wore like those swish pants that had zip ups on the sides, and they like would wear them unzipped a little bit so they drag on the floor. Yeah, like
you're just
cool
describing
kid.
You in high school, Thomas.
I know.
I
was always like 4 years late to the trend, but like that kid that you thought was really cool. That's how I feel about Dave Outlandish. Like I really look up to Dave Outlandish.
Yeah, but don't you usually find out that kid's a douche?
I mean, he's kind of like sure. I mean, Dave Outlandish might be kind of a dick. Park. I think Dave Outlandish might be kind of a dick. Like I'm sure, like if you weren't friends with him, I'm sure he can be a dick, just like we are. You know what I mean? But like, I think he's cool. And I like to, like, when he posts stuff, I'm always like, man, this guy is cool. And it's you know what it is? It's probably because of his demons. I bet you somewhere along the way, he was like, I want to be cool. I want to be like...
What makes you think your soul's worth $1 million?
Well, he probably didn't offer up his soul. He probably had like, that guy's got all the cheat codes. You know what I mean? Like he's probably offering...
AA, up, down, BC, baby. Yeah.
He's probably offering... He probably knows the shit that the demons want that we don't need. He probably offered
our souls for his coolness.
Yeah, that's what he did. He traded... He's like, we want to trade... He's like, I'll tell you what, demon. I'll give you... You had me at Bigfoot's success for my coolness, which is why we're so like down here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That, and we don't generate quality content.
You know, we're doing better than Alex Jones right now, though.
That is true. We're on iTunes.
That demon got suckered big time.
So, but anyway, I'll say that about Dave Outlandish. Let me plug Dave Outlandish and Matt Squatch, because I also mentioned Matt Squatch. Go check out Real Matt Squatch Presents on YouTube. He's also on Twitter. You had me at Real Matt Squatch. You can find him there. All that cool stuff. Go find Matt Squatch. He's great.
Matt Squatch is the man.
Thank you. And then also Dave Outlandish. Find him on Instagram. It's Dave Outlandish, at Dave Outlandish. He does all sorts of really cool spells, sigils, like magic, and he does like a lot of photography stuff, like real interesting stuff. Like today he posted a picture of somebody hung their coat up on a tree and out in like an abandoned like hillside or something. Like it's really weird shit. And then also in the city, so you see a lot of real cool stuff. And we appreciate it. Thank you.
And if you need a good psychic.
Yeah. At Talks to Spirits. We dog on her a lot, but we're allowed to. We recommend that you go and develop your own opinion of her, okay? Our opinion is just that. It's our opinion.
But she really is a good person.
She is. I'll say nice things about her as a person, gladly. But if you've watched the show, you know how we feel about her, obviously. As far as her psychic abilities goes. We cannot definitively speak on those. So that is where our stuff comes from. And she asked us to take down the episode, which isn't happening. We're leaving it up. We have some integrity. I messaged you the smoke or the ghost I saw. That smoke was from James vaping, so it wasn't actually a ghost. Anyways, and while we're on the topic, we're on Instagram. We're at You Had Me Podcast. We're on Twitter at You Had Me Podcast. We're on YouTube. You Had Me at Bigfoot Podcast. We're on... What else are we on? We're obviously on Periscope. You know that. We're on... what else do we have? We're on Snapchat. You Had Me...
I don't even know where we're at. We're on MySpace.
Yeah, that's the only one. We're only on MySpace. You're gonna have to make a MySpace account again. Like this is 2007 or something.
Elon Musk, he put us on that car that's in space.
Yeah, we're on that car.
We're being broadcasted into space right now.
Yep.
He just turned up the radio in the car and just has it playing on repeat.
And it's just a tape of the first episode and that's it. We were trying to get him to hold off and wait until put on a better episode, but he wasn't having it. They had to get that tape made.
So wait, does that, if all the aliens hear that first episode, does that mean we just revealed all the secrets from all the other alien races so they all know about each other now?
I would imagine all the other aliens know about each other. It's not like we don't know about Chinese people or we don't know about Israelis. You know what I mean? Like, we're aware of...
Do we know what they want in the end?
Peace.
Well... Let's not take this to an anti-Semitic place, Dustin. I know that's where you wanted to take it. You bigot. You disgusting bigot. But, anyways, that's it from us. James, did you have a song to send us off with?
No.
Okay. Have a wonderful night.
No, I mean, I can have one. I just wanted to see your reaction if I said no. Once there was this kid.
Man, those are hard nipples. What's going on with you?
They get hard quick. I can get them hard on demand.
That's awesome.
Look at that.
Hold on, we got James with the song. Don't hang up on us yet, Mike in Manitoba.
This is for you, Mike.
He's got hard nipples for you, Mike.
I can't keep going. I'm laughing too hard.
I like that. I never even realized that demon rhymes with semen. Like, there's so much you can do with that.
I only found that out because I have a song that says Dear Preacher, can you open up and free these demons inside of me? Was one of the lyrics to my song, and someone misheard it and thought I said, Dear Preacher, could you free up the demon inside?
Which he probably could have done too. I mean, we all know how the Catholic Church responds to handsome young boys like yourself. All right, we'll see you. Let's do I've been watching this guy where he gets bit and stung by all sorts of insects and stuff.
Yeah.
He always goes, Brave Wilderness, I think is what it's called. Shout out to Brave Wilderness. I'll plug his show. But I'm going to end the show like that. Be brave. Stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure. And whatever else he says.
Bigfoot would be proud.
Next week on You Had Me at Bigfoot. James is on here messaging people like, I'm seriously, I'm a part of the show. I'm with the band.
No, I just didn't want someone to think that I was just some fucking... I didn't want Dustin to think that I was just some fucking weird commenter.
He knows. Are you interested in advertising on You Had Me at Bigfoot?
No friggin' way. Under no circumstances.
Reach out to us at contact@youhadmeatbigfoot.com.